Okay, back again with another live stream. Going to let's see. I forgot to check my preview over here. Okay, we got a yellow stream, but on the health. But lately, that's what it does every time, and then it gets better after a while usually. All right, so let's go to the desktop. Oh, I got eyes hurt. I've been going fast ever since I got up this afternoon. It's 10:30 in the evening, but I stayed up till about 4 in the morning last night, and then slept till about 2 or 2:30 or something in the afternoon. So my days of getting up in the morning are over until I get straightened out again. Okay, so I found, now what I've done is installed Fedora 29 server on the Net Pro Max yesterday, or the last two, well, the day before. I've got two previous, yeah, that was all done yesterday. Installed it, and then I went back through it, installed XFCE Desktop, and I'm fixing to talk about what I'm showing here. And it still didn't work. Now here's the original, and this is what I'll just go right here. This is the original post that I had found on my Fedora 23 server, and showed you how to install and get Mate Desktop up and running on Fedora server. Fedora server doesn't, even though you install the desktop, it still doesn't work. You know, it's there, but it doesn't show up on boot. And so I looked on this website. Actually, there's no search on this website, so I had to just search Google, but I ended up finding one of the first few results. I found Fedora 29 server, install XFCE Desktop, and that's what I searched right up there at the top right. And I found this post, which is, it's a Fedora 28 actually, but you know, that's close enough. And it's the same. And of course, this is for XFCE instead of Mate. See, that's really the only difference. And so you've got Mate Desktop in parentheses, and then you got, keeps doing that, XFCE Desktop in parentheses. And that's, I was going to have that opened up. Well, let's check that out. I'm going to close this extra page now. This is the one I'm going to follow. Since I've already done this yesterday, all I got to do is this part here. Oh yeah, I haven't logged into I don't have the server even running yet. So yeah, let's get it up and running. First, forgot about all that good stuff. I'll get on the camera where I can show it. And let me switch over. Okay. And I will just just show each step. These cameras have been way out of sync. I've tried to fix it. They used to do better. I'm streaming my phone cameras over the Wi-Fi. They're getting out of sync with my audio. There's actually no adjustments for the aux, mic input. It's only on I can only adjust it on the Wi-Fi camera 3 that I do audio on, but I haven't been able to fix it on there either. So, sorry about all that. I look back, and sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's really bad. So yesterday, both videos were bad. So it's got a little gray screen and little 3 dots when it's booting up. If you hit a key on the, I usually just hit an arrow key up arrow, and that way you don't actually cause anything to happen. If you hit some other thing like enter or something, if it's in a different weird place that you're not expecting, it might make something happen that you didn't want to happen. So I haven't paid a lot of attention, but I haven't caught any errors. Everything's all okay green on here, so that's good. And let's make sure that XFCE doesn't just all of a sudden boot up. It didn't yesterday. It didn't go to a graphic boot screen. It just went to just like this. It just goes to the normal server command line, interface where you could log in. It tells you to get to the web console. Go to well, it says localhost. Localhost 9090. Well, that usually says the IP address. Oh, we might have a problem. I did have to reboot the router a while ago. Not for me, for somebody else to get their Wi-Fi working. Well, actually, it didn't help. It turned out they needed to reboot their machine because they had upgraded to Fedora 29 and hadn't rebooted yet. But so let's get over here on the desktop again, and I'll go to my remote admin. Let's see if we can log in. 153. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. Oh, there it is. Maybe it didn't show that IP address, and I just don't remember. Okay, we'll log in. Can't hit the right keys. Log in as root, and I don't remember the password, so let me get it. Okay, so there we are, logged in on with Cockpit, the remote admin app for Fedora servers. And I think you have to install. It's checking for updates. It does that automatically as soon as you go into it. It says it's up to date. So it was up to date when I installed it because I installed it using net install. But anyway, I was going to say using net install. I think, not 100% sure, but I went ahead and clicked on the little box of all the things you can check. Back in the previous videos, if you want to see how to do that, and checked for remote administration, apps. But so we're going to go to the terminal and see. Yeah, we don't have a desktop, and we want desktop. So we are, like I said, already installed. So I've already installed the. Yeah, I wanted to double check my commands. I just want to know if the commands I used that were out of my script were the same. Let's see. Yeah, my file's good. Okay. Documents, DNF install scripts. I think that top one might be it. Oh, I double clicked on it. Don't double click on scripts they're going to try to run. Now, yesterday I did that by accident, and somehow the default application must have changed to KWrite, which is what I wanted. Things like this are happening automatically, and this is weird because, see, okay, if you right click on any file in Crusader, you can go right click and then go to properties, and you used to could click on file type options and change them, and that's the way I've always done it. Pretty much like it used to be in Windows, That's one thing about Windows I like. And Windows Commander, or you can do it in Total Commander, which is the file manager I use in Windows. But it's been doing these things. I guess it's trying to automatically figure out what to do. But the only thing I had done was I said open with 2 or 3 times yesterday, KWrite. So maybe it's watching what you're doing, trying to see that, oh, this is what they want. That's all I can figure, because now today I double clicked on an image file and it opened up and there's another thing you can do. Since I'm going into all that, you can go to system. Now, the problem I've had is I needed to use what I just showed, that doesn't work anymore because this is Mate Desktop, not KDE, but that's a KDE app. But you can go to Preferences, Personal, and go to Preferred Applications and set what you want, and everything that's in any other app besides the ones written just for KDE Desktop will just follow right along. Well, Firefox used to go back and forth. Well, Chrome would try to take over if you opened up Chrome. I'm not using Chrome anymore. I'm using Chromium, so that may be why I don't have it. But I changed it to Image Viewer, and now Image Viewer was the default app today. But half the time that doesn't work, and even I think I've even tried doing a reboot to see if that made it work in it. I don't know. It could be because of reboot. You need to reboot, but usually you want something like that, all you need to do is close the app and open it again. So anyway, that just got me on another sidetrack. Okay, here's my install script, and here is what I ran yesterday. DNF why group install XFCE Desktop. And I didn't run my whole script because it's not. This is the one I had for on my Lenovo i5, my desktop machine. I don't want all these apps. I was editing on it yesterday in my video while I was waiting on XFCE Desktop to install. But let's see. We'll do a search. Okay, it didn't. Oh, Oh, okay. The only difference here is, and I know group install as one word works. Maybe you can do it either way, but in here they have group install with 2 words. I kind of think that, I don't know, I'm not going to, I know I have XFCE Desktop on there. I know it worked because I watched it install and I went and looked after it was done. So, but I don't want to run it again because it wouldn't reinstall it, but it would check for quite a while to check through and see, see all the apps that are. So I'm going to just go ahead and run this command with the remote terminal and then do start X. I'd forgotten about that. A lot of the older Linux distros, they would start, boot up to a command line, and then you'd have to type start X to get them to go into a graphic user interface. So let's see if we've got it. Have to go to the terminal over here. Paste that command. I'm really glad I found that article where I could copy and paste that. Okay, so that just evidently worked, no errors or anything. Then I'm just going to copy start X too, that way I don't mistype it. But this is okay, since that's not, when you right click, what I'm doing is right clicking, but half the time this menu comes up instead of that. If you click in a different place, it'll work, but it's actually always works right when you hit edit and with the left click. Alright, now, okay, it says all kinds of things do not exist and this and that and the other. It went so fast. No window manager registered. Let's see. It seems to be problems. Seems like there's errors. It's working the machine. I can hear it. I think it's trying over and over to do it. That's what it seems like. Seems like I'm seeing the same thing. No file or directory, DNF, Dragora, YAML. No such file or directory, root config. Now, since I'm doing this as root, it could be a problem. Maybe I should have logged in as Don, the user Don, because they try to keep you from logging in as root in the desktop, because then you can break your system or get it broke by, well, system can get broken really easily that way. So here it's still waiting on something, but it stopped long enough for me to be able to kind of read some stuff. Icon missing, ABRT applet can't connect, system bus calling, free desktop problems, failed to execute program, free desktop problems, permission denied. Okay. Let's go back up to the top now. Now here's something that says, moved again. I was fixing to read one that said critical. Warning. It's an IP address. ISIO error. Disconnected from session manager. So I don't know if it's going to work. I think I'll get. It's kind of hard to decide what to watch, either the command terminal or the go over there and look at it and see if it's actually trying to do it. I want to see if it's trying to do it, so I'll take you along with me here. Unless I'm wrong about the command, but I don't think so, because I've used this before and I had no trouble, with the way the group install is one word like that. Matter of fact, it seems to me that I had to use it with one word to get it to work. But let's go to the camera 2 again. I'll switch over. I'll use my remote there, my long stick. That way I can stay by the mic while I'm doing it. Yeah, except for today, I don't know if it's me or the KVM switch. It just won't hit. It won't stop where I want it to. It's being contrary. Oh, we have a graphic user interface. Okay, cool beans. Use default config, one empty panel. I want default config. So, you know, I don't have a VNC Remote Desktop or anything, so I have to do it with the camera. It's working. It's working. I don't know why there's so many errors in the terminal over there, but it's working. We got it. Now, I want to reconfigure it. I like to reconfigure my XFCE desktop to look like Mate, and I've saved the config. You can like import a configuration file, and I've saved them over and over, and I keep forgetting where I saved them. But there we go. We have XFCE desktop. And XFCE actually comes along with a few more apps than Mate does, so it's kind of nice. Tiger VNC Viewer. I don't think there's any VNC server, and I had installed OpenOffice, so all those things can now be seen and used. That's the other thing is well, you know what? When my original install, I was saying, well, I guess I didn't get it. No, I didn't get XFCE. I know that because I looked through all my files with Midnight Commander File Manager, and it was the folders there were not there for it. But I have OpenOffice. Maybe that was, or LibreOffice. I always forget because I started with OpenOffice. I have, the profile or the radio button that you click. To me, what it seems to me, I tried clicking several radio buttons and selecting things on the right side, you know, with the click check boxes, hoping that they would. I swear the first couple of years I used, I started with Fedora in Fedora 5. And the first couple of times I used net install, I swear you could click around. You could use any of the above, you know. But now it seems like that you only get whichever radio button you're in when you click that button, blue button that says install now. And it'll let you select all you want, but that doesn't mean you'll get them. That's what seems to be happening. But either that or it is. No, I know XFCE wasn't installed. I wanted to say, well, maybe XFCE was installed, but it just wasn't working yet because you needed to run those commands, but it wasn't installed. So what I was wanting to do is I thought, well, I could at least temporarily run, you know, a remote desktop app so that I can make my video better, and that's probably, I'll have to install it, I guess. But now you're still going to have a remote terminal, and there's the file manager. I'll just click on a couple of things while I'm here, because I can see in my preview that you can at least see that there's a desktop. Oh, that was not the folder. That was not for the file manager. That was to restore, minimize Windows. Well, terminal emulator, file manager, web browser, search for applications. Now I like to have, I guess, you have to add it. There's one that'll put that search right here in the menu bar, or the tool, whatever they call this thing, applications menu. Put that search in there. Yeah, let's use that search and see what apps we can find. Let's see. Okay, we've got just Tiger VNC Viewer, yeah. Web, we've got the browser, and then LibreOffice came up. And anything for FTP? No. Nothing for SSH. Well, things came up, but they're not SSH apps. Session and startup. Okay, so what I want to do then, there are updates. I can see that. That it looks like there are. The little, well, that doesn't mean there are some. That just means it's checking for it. It's there to check for updates, and that's fine. That's what I want. Okay, so cool. So that's really, my papers are everywhere. My extra paper. I got too many papers up there in front of my KVM switch. Boy, that's easy once you find the right spot and get the right commands. Okay, especially when you can copy and paste. Go back to the desktop. Did I get to the right machine? Yeah. Otherwise, I couldn't have done that. So, at least my desktop works well, and it's synced with what I'm saying and everything. I'm going to close that script file for now until I actually need it. And it's going to need some editing. Here's something I don't know quite what to do. Let's see. GTK warning. There's lots of warnings in there. But it's not broken. How much can I get? I'm going to see if I can copy all this. Select all. And copy it and put it in a text file. Whoops. Let me select it all, but then when I try it again, okay, I'll go up here to edit, copy. Now I'm going to go get me a text, go make me a text file to save that information. It might be things I want. It looks like maybe I didn't lose. Sometimes it drops off the first part, you know, from your initial command, but I don't think I did lose it. So, it's all black. That's weird. That's can't read that. Black background. Somehow it actually copied the paste unformatted text. There we go. Now let's make it bigger. It's not big enough. I cannot remember and I cannot find out if anybody knows how to change your default text size in LibreOffice. Let me know. I want it to. I need it at least 14 so I can read it. Sounds like a good way to do it. Oh no, it didn't get it all. Yeah, it doesn't have the commands. It did not get it all. Didn't go back to the very beginning like I thought it did. I really thought it did too. Oh, I see. I just wasn't paying attention. See, it's no. Wait a minute. Execute user bin. That is my command. So maybe I'm not. No. Why doesn't it have it all? Well, that doesn't make sense. It let me happily copy it. It looked like I was copying it all, but I don't understand why it's not all there. Try one more time. I hit Control V like I normally do, but you gotta paste unformatted text. Okay. Yeah. That now it's when I went to the top, it worked. So well, I'm gonna save this file now. It'll be enough to help me anyway. Fedora 29 info. I kind of like to keep it separate between Fedora 29 and Fedora 29 server, but well. So now I have those commands. I also saved that web page itself this time, which I might have done it before, but don't know where it is, you know. Okay, so well, I actually kind of was going to look through those errors, and then I forgot. Well, I guess I can do it in the terminal. Let me close extra applications that I don't need. Okay. Warning. Warning. Critical. I don't know, but it's working. There's a bunch of warnings and stuff, but it's working. The thing is, when you try to type something, a new command, it's not back to the command prompt. The only thing I know to do is hit reset, and now I can type new commands, assuming I didn't break anything. But let's see. Actually, I'm probably going to have to go back on the machine, and I guess I can close that page now. Go back on the machine because I don't know the commands to install unless it's in my script. Just thought of that. I closed it. Crusader. Let's find out. Okay, right. Well, this time I want to make sure I didn't try to run that script again. Let's see. KRFB. I do remember the name of the app. No, that's not even in there. That's the one I've been using. You can just install KRFB and it'll run Tiger VNC server for you, and then you can turn it on and off by running the app. There's nothing in these groups about VNC. DNF group list. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier just to go over there. It won't be, I won't have my nice video, but trying to do all this in the command line will just end up. I'll leave it open though because I know I'll be back. So, but what I'll do is switch back to the camera. All I think I really need to install so that I can make a nice desktop video is KRFB. Oh, well, when I reset that terminal window, it took it out of the desktop. It went right back to the command line. So I guess I should let's reboot it and see if it works. Make sure that I have it set to boot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to log in first. Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay. Reboot now. And you do generally have to, you have to, well, it's kind of, some machine, I don't know. Sometimes I try to reboot a machine and it won't do it. You don't have privileges if you're the regular user, and sometimes it'll just do it. So, but I think in the server you may have to be root to reboot it. It would be a good idea, wouldn't it? To make sure it doesn't get rebooted when you don't want it to be. So let's see if it goes into the login screen. Yeah, and this time I won't log in as root. It could be why there was a bunch of errors because I had actually started that up as root from the remote terminal. And I can see, yeah, it's behind. It's pretty hard to. Well, I guess I could go. I guess what I could do is I hadn't thought about this. I can look at my preview and only talk about what I see over there instead of what I see on my screen. Maybe that'll help a little bit at least. So I see the 3 dots. Well, I don't know my preview. See, it's hard. My brain don't work that way. Okay, there's the 3 dots. So I'm going to hit a key to bring up the terminal window. And then once it gets, it's so far behind. It's dropping frames is what it's doing. I'm going to have to work on that some more. It's gotten really bad. It's making my videos bad. Talking about things that a whole minute or 2 minutes may, it seems like 2 minutes later. It's probably 30 seconds to even a minute later when it happens. And so it makes no sense, No, we did not get Maybe I have to go into the. Okay, no, I'm going to log in as. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and log in as root again because I want to make changes that stay, you know. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Let's do Don. Okay. Now then. I was typing everything wrong, wasn't I? I'm glad you can't read it then, since I'm messing up so bad. Okay. Let's see if I got it right. Okay, now then. I'm typing StartX. And I think it'll go ahead and go into the, no, it did not work. I got a bunch of readout. Maybe I am going to have to be root for it to do that. Let's see what it said. It's so small I can't read it all, but I don't see a whole bunch of warnings or errors like before. Connection to the X server lost is one of the last things. Waiting for X server to shut down. Server terminated. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's because I need to be root. And what I'm going to try to do, I thought about it when it was up and running, and I thought, well, I'll do that on the. I wanted to get VNC running first, but I thought, oh, I probably don't need to do that. But what I may have to do is just a simple thing of going into startup applications and put XFCE Desktop in the startup applications, which I'm probably you're going to have to do that as root for it to stick. So I'm going to say SU and go back in and log in as root. Oops, messed up. Okay, now we're root. See if I can start X and get that going. Looks like it's going to work, hopefully. I hear it thinking. I hear that hard drive rattling. Yeah, it's beginning to come up. Okay, so some kind of problem. iBus update. Superspace is now default hotkey. Report. Something went wrong. Let's see what went wrong. See if we can see what went wrong. It hadn't finished starting up the desktop yet. This is ABRT, the automatic bug reporting app, and it says no problems detected. Okay, let's give it a little more time to finish. It worked a while ago. Of course, took a while before I ever got on here because it was reading out so many things on that remote terminal. That's pretty wild that it works. Well, like I said, it probably didn't work any better last time. Then it took a while before I came to look at it, and it was finished loading. It seems to be loading with errors is what I'm starting to gather. Yeah, it's not responding. Well, there it goes. It's finally responding. This is Fedora 29 on a single core Celeron. You know, it's 2.8 gigahertz, but it's a single core with 2 gig of RAM, so it just may not work real fast. Okay, settings. Let's see. Probably be in system, but we'll see. There we go. We got our desktop background finally. Session and startup. Yeah, I just thought I don't want any screensavers or anything, and they're usually turned on by default. We don't want any of that. Let's go session and startup. And I'm in as root, I believe. Yeah, I am, because that's how I started. I couldn't do it by regular user. Automatically display chooser on logon. Now that may be what I want. Probably, yeah. I think that's one of the things I want. Splash screen, none. Mice, I don't like that. I never liked that rat. I don't like rats. So I go with none. Okay, let's make this bigger. Alright, Blueberry. Well, I don't have Bluetooth on this machine, so I'm going to take that out. That's what Blueberry is. Bluetooth, OBEX. I don't have Bluetooth devices. Do I go to updater? Yeah. GeoClue demo agent. I don't know, but I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it there. It's already selected. Input method, live install setup. I'll leave that alone. It should probably take itself out if it needs to be taken out. Network manager, power manager, yes. Problem reporting, pulse audio, screensaver. I don't want the screensaver. I'll take it out of the startup. SE Linux, yeah, it's there. I don't know why it's available to install in the Cockpit administration deal. What else could it be? It's already there. It's already installed and starting up. I thought it was. Well, I saw the folders for it. Spice. I don't know exactly what all you do with Spice, but it's installed by default, so I don't know what to do with it. It's been around for a long time. I've read about it, but it's been so long I don't remember. User folder updates, VBox client. VBox client. Well, I'll leave that alone. VMware user agent. I'm going to leave those alone for now, but I may want to take those out because I thought I made sure I didn't install any of that stuff. VBox client. Do I have VirtualBox on here? I don't see why I would. XFCE poll kit policy authentication agent. We need that. XFCE settings, Damon. AT SPI dbus. I can't remember what that is. Certificate key storage. Genome keyring. We don't need that because we have the XFCE. Genome disk utility. We don't need that starting up. Oh, for genome settings, I don't think we need that. It's not, none of that's selected, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Secret storage service, keyring, SSH key agent. Don't know about that. We might need that for me to log in, you know, with SFTP. But I don't want it running. Well, that's genome. Yeah, I won't run that because I think the XFCE policy kit authentication agent will take care of that, hopefully. If not, then maybe I can remember to turn that on. User folders update, common folders, no. Screensaver, auto start. There's two screensavers in this XFCE. Okay, add or remove. So maybe the only thing I needed to click, it's beginning to click in my head that maybe was that display chooser at logon. That may be the only thing I need to do to get that graphic chooser to come on. Automatically save the session. Okay, yeah, there's not a save button. Yeah, I don't want to automatically save sessions. I just want to make sure I save what I've done. Advanced. Okay, compatibility launch genome services. I used to do that to make apps work better. But it also, you can tell there's a bit more overhead on the machine, so I won't do that unless I have a problem. Security, manage remote applications, no. Lock screen before sleep, no. Okay, so back to the beginning. I think that just displays chooser at logon may be all I needed. So this is going to save these settings when I I almost want to do that to make sure I don't lose any of my work and the other things that I do. But it can be a problem when you change things you know you didn't realize you changed, or you forgot you changed, and you got, well, it would, like, say you had you forgot to shut down an app like Firefox, and the next time you boot up it'll try to run it, you know, things like that. I think that's going to be fine, just like I got it. I can even go back in there and let's see if you can get to there from system. Now, yeah, SE Linux Troubleshooter's already in there. But now you got to go to settings in XFCE. It's quite a bit different than Mate. Session and startup. Let's see if I'm what I did. Yeah, what I did still there, so we should be fine. Now, I need to actually that updater may cause me trouble. Let's see. When you try to open up Dragora to install an application, sometimes that I don't see the. Let's use the desktop search. I don't see the just regular Dragora because you can't install from that that update. You see this little yellowish box of a thing. You could open it. You can click on it and open it, but all it'll do is give you the updates. It's funny because it all looks the same, but you know, like down here, DNF Dragora Updater and DNF Dragora, they're the same app, but they open up with different abilities when you open them up. So you can't just like you used to could do. Anytime you saw Yum up there at the top right, you can just click on it, open it up, and do whatever you needed to do, update, install, whatever. Now I'm in as root though. I am in the graphic user interface as root, and that's not the way I want it to be. I don't even care if it has that ability. Usually the regular desktop Fedora won't let you do it, any of the regular desktops. Or at least, well, you can, but you had to run some commands or something, I think. But anyway, what we want is it done? Yeah, it already searched for updates, I guess, because the update thing is running in the background. You can't hit enter. You got to use the mouse. Trying names first. Oh, to update. You got to change it to. That's why it wasn't trying to load because it wasn't any updates. So now I have to go to all. So change that to all. At least it will stay in all next time. Well, I'll have to. We'll see if we can reboot and get back into the regular user, and then that's how I want it to be. And then, you know, anytime I want to actually log on to the desktop, I'll log on as my user Don. And then if I need to do something under root that takes root privileges, like install an app, then it'll just ask me for the root password like normal. But I couldn't, I couldn't get it. It wouldn't let me. There was something not allowing me to run StartX as just Don. It tried and it must have been permission denied. I didn't really see that in the terminal output, but it's so tiny I couldn't read it all. I just didn't want to try that hard to read it. Now I'm just waiting for it to finish loading the all, installed and updates and everything. Installed, available, and updates. That's what all is going to load. Oh, there we go. Now, so it doesn't automatically do that search you just tried to do. Let's wait till it's finished. It's still kind of working on getting loaded. Now I think it's done. Okay, so there we go. KRFB desktop sharing. There is 10.04.03 and 18.04.03 and 18.08.03 FC29. They're both x86-64. So I want the newest one. Okay. Sometimes I read the numbers wrong. And then there's some libs and stuff, but I think they'll be installed automatically. So I'm going to just hit apply. 32 megabytes worth of stuff. Going to put in a theme and some libs. And looks like it should be. From what I remember, that's what you need to do. You don't need to. Sometimes if you add those lib files that came up in your search or whatever they might be, you'll get the wrong one and you'll cause a conflict. So it's usually better to just install the main app, and then if it needs anything, well, usually it'll come up and say it needs this. Do you want to install it too? But if it doesn't, then you may have to go back and research again and then install. Well, look at your errors if it didn't start up, and install whatever it tells you. You can actually do that in the command line. You can copy and paste from your errors even, and copy. Well, what I do is I save the output of the errors to a text file. Then you have to close your graphic user, drag over or whatever it is, and then do it in the terminal if you want to do it that way. Sometimes if you know exactly the name of the app and how to type it out, then you can just copy and paste it in the terminal faster, and you can then you can do it in the GUI. Sometimes you can go around and run in circles trying to do that too and have trouble because you didn't get the syntax just right. But I don't know. I'm looking at my preview over there, and I really can't tell if I'm in sync at all or not. It looks like maybe the camera finally kind of synced up. I think that for some reason when you click on the camera, it starts out, it's not syncing, with the audio and video, and then after the longer it plays, longer the camera is used in OBS, it drops frames until it gets synced up as best as it can anyway. So I think maybe is going on. There may be all these troubles I'm actually having could be that they've been trying to improve the app and changing it to do these kinds of things automatically. What it had been doing is, I don't know. I've been going on about that every video when it's not what I'm actually making a video about, so I'll quit doing that. So we're getting there. We're 45 of 64, and it was quite a few little, dependencies. So, but we should be able to start it. Actually, what I'm going to do is, let's see. Once I get this installed, I think I will reboot and see if my settings worked, because that's right now. The first thing I want is to have. This is secondary. The first thing I really want is to be able to, when that machine boots up, I want to see that logon screen. I actually kind of think that that was it. I think just clicking that box, just like I said, XFCE is different than Mate and the others, so the settings are different. And of course, normally when you install a spin, I think that's what they call them now. I'm always forgetting because they went back and forth. They used to call spins different things, labs and spins and remixes. And right now, I think they're calling the different desktops spins. So if I remember right. And so if you install the Mate spin or the XFCE spin, then it'll automatically be set up to work for you. But when you install the server spin, I'll say, then it's not that they just figure if you're doing a server, you don't need a desktop. Well, I do. I think a lot of people do, because oddly enough, the videos I made, and this is when I very first started with OBS Studio, I was still learning how to use it and how it worked. I was making test videos, and I thought, well, I might as well make a real video. So I made 7 I just looked them up, and that's how I found these commands. I actually did a bunch of screenshots to make sure I could find those pages. But and it wasn't working well, and talk about being out of sync. Oh, I had terrible troubles because I was playing videos for intros and exits, not just music, but videos, and it was killing the sync. And that was just a bug in OBS at the time, which it may still be a bit of a problem, but I'm beginning to wonder. But anyway, I found out, later that it was a problem, and that's what was causing. I kind of figured it out, that was causing it, because when I did that, it messed everything up, and when I didn't. So anyway, in my videos, I mean, things were so out of sync that, it's a minute or two different. Well, it was so messed up that it would freeze. It would freeze on a frame for a while, 30 seconds, a minute, and then it would go. It was more of a slideshow, Of course, I'm talking about something else. But I was just looking at the frozen frames, and I saw what I was looking for. I saw that page that I was doing, a desktop stream mostly, and I was doing camera and desktop like I do now. Okay, now we're done. So anyway, I found the website, found the pages, and then I went and looked in my old bookmarks and found the link to it and everything, so I wouldn't have to try to type that in. And it's not completely done yet. It's still loading. But it's done with the install, but the little ball's still spinning. So now I don't remember why I was telling all that. Okay, now it's actually finished. Okay, I didn't want to I didn't want to break anything by closing it. Let's see. Okay, it shows that we're in his root. So what I'm going to do is click on no, shut down. I'll just shut it down. Log out. It's all different than Mate. Now I can get this screen where I can do whatever I want. Oh wait, first I want to make sure I don't have any power management turned on. You know, I don't know if there we go. Power manager. When power button is pressed, ask. When sleep button is pressed, ask. When hibernate button is pressed, ask. That's good. Status notifications off. Okay. I don't remember what those are all about, but system tray icon on. System sleep mode suspend. Lock screen when system is going for sleep. No. When inactive for never. Oh, I think I want never. It's really different than Mate, so I have to pay real close attention. Display. Blank after 10 minutes. Display power manager. I always just run them up as far as I can just to make sure, because sometimes I swear they turn themselves back on. It especially happens when you have more than one desktop. One desktop will turn it on when the other one has it turned off, and then they'll fight with each other. Okay, display power manager. I don't want any of that managed. I don't want nothing put to sleep. I don't want anything blank. I want it to stay up and going. I like my desktops that way. I hate it when it goes to sleep in the middle of when you're watching a video, especially. That's when it'll always happen to you. And that's what it started. It wasn't happening on my Fedora 28, well, the one I'm streaming from right now. Now it's happening again. Only happens while I'm watching a video, and I checked everything, and it's doing it anyway. That was a problem in Fedora 23 that I could not fix. Doesn't take me long to start getting an itchy throat and losing my voice. I should have ordered some more cough drops the other day. I thought, well, I'll wait. I thought I'd wait. I thought I could wait till next week and get them from Walmart when we order there, but I should have went ahead and ordered them. Amazon. But they were going to take a long time to get in, but there was a real good sale on them. Okay, I think I got it. Before I quit with that, I'm going to look at screensavers. I want to make sure they're not turned on. I just took them out of the startup. Okay, the X screensaver is not running. No, I don't want it to run. Yeah, now see, there's two screensavers on this XFCE. Lock the screen. No. Blank after 10 minutes. Random screensaver. Now, you're not quite done just because you went into power management. Okay. It would have still locked the screen. And it still says 10 minutes. Let's see what's the most I can put. I'll try 320. Because sometimes, like I said, no matter how hard you try to turn all that off, the more it turns itself back on. Power management is not checked, though, so maybe it'll be all right. All right. Now let's see if there's another screensaver. Oh, that's screenshot. So maybe they don't have two screensavers. I swear I saw. Session and startup. I guess I'm just seeing the same one in different places. Display chooser at logon. Now that should have fixed me there. Yeah, I took screensaver out of the startup items, which maybe well sometimes it fixes you right up and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Now I think I'm actually ready to restart this thing. And if I get my graphic login like I want, then I'll log in as Don. And then I'll start up KRFB. And then whatever else I want to do, I can actually show a nice desktop video. Actually, I was thinking I would uninstall it, but you know, KRFB won't run unless you start it up manually, so that's good. KRFB, the remote it starts up Tiger VNC servers, what it does. So I might be able to just leave it on there. I haven't been installing any kind of VNC server on my servers because I didn't want anyone to, break the password and get in with a script. They're always hitting your servers with scripts, trying to break in. Yeah, my previous, the previous is always behind, even though you may still be in sync. Okay, I'll hit that keyboard key, and I don't like to sit there and just watch those three dots. So I want to see the terminal output, I'm still working on my cough drop, so. I think we're good. I don't, of course I missed the very first few things because I don't remember to hit that, get out of that graphic boot screen. See the terminal, so if there's anything at the very beginning I'm missing it, but I don't see any errors, and that's great, especially on an older machine. No, come on, man, why aren't you working? The last time I did this on Fedora 23, I installed Mate Desktop first, and then installed XFCE because it was so much lighter weight. Because if Mate would work, but it could barely work. I must have got everything to do with the login screen working that way. So, it didn't display the chooser. Well, okay, maybe since I did it for root, let's try one more time. To log and do it, from Don. Can't see. I've got my little password setting up there on my desk, but I can't. It's too far away. I couldn't read it, which is weird. Well, I guess that my eyes are really changing because I've been farsighted all my life, and my eyes are getting worse. That's for sure. And so actually, where that was used to be the optimal place. Okay, start X. See what happens. Same thing, it didn't work. Let's see if I can read a little more of the terminal readout. I'm not going to try to read it out loud. I'm just scanning it. See if there's anything that looks like I should mention it. Warning, EE error, NI not implemented. Unknown. Okay, there's something not implemented. Home Don local share, XOR. This is below that. So it's using X11. Mate doesn't use X11 anymore from what it uses something else. I forgot what it's called. Actually, I didn't think that Fedora used X11 anymore, the X11 desktop. Or window manager or whatever. I forgot exactly what you're supposed to call it, but it's not the desktop, it's window manager or something. System config directory, user share X11, XOR config D. Might have to go there. XOR user share X11 xorg.config.d. Maybe something I'm going to have to edit in there. You used to have to do that in the olden days to get this stuff working right. And then x86 enabled IO ports fail to set IOPL for IO operation not permitted. See, it just seems like it's just a permission problem. So maybe I'm going to have to somehow get into if I can get into the user Don in the graphic user interface and then set, all that, but it may ask me for the root password or something, but maybe that'll do it. And then there's these messages that are all spread out over the screen, And it's just stuff that I really don't quite know what it is. Except for one, errors from XBB comp are not fatal to the X server. Connection to the X server lost. Waiting for the X server to shut down. Okay, I'm going to do it again. SU for sudo privileges. Start X should work. It's been working every time. Alright, now we've got a... Oh, okay. We can either default. Oh, okay. Default, logout, or new session. Let's try new, because maybe we can say, yeah, choose the username. It doesn't say username. It says choose a name for the new session. I'm going to try Don. I don't know what we're doing here. This is very different than Mate. On Debane, for a minute I had memories of Debane. That's why I thought I should type Don in there, but that's different. Oh, look. I think I just added some other. Yeah, I'm still root. I wonder if I can switch users. Whoops. Yeah, some sort of problem, but report didn't work last time. Let's see if it works this time. The switch user is not selectable up there, and you can't report a problem. Let's wait till it finishes coming in and we can see the whole screen and everything. Maybe that will help. Somehow I got to get Dawn the permission to use the graphic user interface. And what it was trying to say about if I did have Mate installed and I could set those settings and it would make it work, and then what I was thinking is I got it all working in Mate and then I didn't have trouble in, if I had trouble in XFCE, I don't remember having the trouble and having to fix it, but I am now. I don't really want to install another desktop unless I really need to. As you can see, it's pretty slow at getting up and going with XFCE, and it's really lightweight. So now let's see if I click on the root to far right. Now you can't switch user from there. Well, let's look at the logout and see if you can switch user. Logout, restart, shutdown, suspend, hibernate, hybrid sleep. There is no switch user. You can log out. Before I do that, let's see if there's any other things on here. Users and groups. Maybe I need to give Dawn the permission to use graphic user interface. Let's find out. Okay, Dawn. Right clicking doesn't do anything. Properties. Okay. Password. Login shell. Bin bash. Bin sh, bin sc, user bin bash, user bin sh. Yeah, I don't think we need to mess with that. Let's get out of there. I'm going to hit cancel so that I can't break something. Count info. Okay. Password, enable password expiration. I don't like that. It just expires on you one day and it forces you to change it. Groups. Now I don't want to join, like a root group or anything like that. But there could be like a logon group or something. Sometimes certain things won't work unless you're a member of that group, but most of the time you don't have to mess with that anymore. Used to have to do it quite a bit. Most of the time the installers for the apps do that for you. But then again, since this is a server is not really meant to have the graphic user interface anyway, I think that's why things are a bit wonky. That and, well, I don't know. I really don't know if people generally, usually, like when you boot up a server, it's just up and running and you don't even log into anything. But when I want to work on one from that machine, I want to log in as a regular user, and then, and sometimes for years I would always go ahead and log in as my regular user in case I wanted to just flip over there with my KVM switch. And but I got to realizing, well, heck, what's the point in really doing that? It just gives the machine a little more to do. I still kind of did it a lot, but when it was in here, when it's outside, I probably won't even know. If the power glitches and it reboots, then it may be not logged into anybody, which is fine as long as the server's up and running. So anyway, let me go back to looking through this. Tape, user tape. I wouldn't have thought it, but recently I saw some stuff. I found out that they still back up servers with tape drives sometimes. Some companies still do that, which that is old and slow. I didn't think that anybody would be using that anymore. I do not see anything Webalizer, and these are groups that doesn't mean the apps are actually even there, I don't think. So yeah, I took out that where it was going to expire the password. It's the only thing I did. You can even enable local password is locked. It doesn't need to be locked. I might change my mind and want to change it, and I don't want to have to go and unlock it and all that stuff. But okay, and then there's the group nobody. I've never have quite understood why there's a default group of nobody. Oh, to add group. I meant to go properties. Kernel overflow. Kernel overflow user. That's what it's for. That's what it, under the section of full name, it says kernel overflow user. And it has password expiration. I'm going to leave it alone. I don't think nobody has a password. Okay. I'm trying to figure. I may have to start doing some Google searches. Not seeing anything how I can switch to Dawn, or when I SU, it just logs me in as root. I didn't, I logged in as Dawn, and it was broke. It wouldn't log in to the, I couldn't do StartX. So then I did. Log on, I get LibreOffice Draw. Log in, I still get LibreOffice Draw. System, let me just look around the applications then, I'm not finding anything. Let's see, administration, accessory settings again. Settings manager, let's see what's in there. Yeah, that's the one with the whole thing. Appearance. Just look through them all. There's not a whole lot in there. I don't see anything that would. I've already been in session and startup several times, so I don't see anything in there that would help me. There's KRFB. forgot that that was one of the main things I was trying to do there. Let's do that, and I will. Then I can show this. I'll just leave this like it is. $153, $5,900. Okay. Okay. Now I should be able to just go back to my machine and do remote desktop, and if whatever searches I want to do. Now you can actually see what it is. Did I miss the machine? I didn't get my mouse back. I didn't miss it either. Sometimes my KVM switch does that though. So go back to the one that's working. Make sure the mouse is working, and then go back to the one you're trying to get on. Yeah, it's back. Okay, desktop. All right, now, see if we can connect. Yeah, I'll just leave my. It disconnected because I rebooted the machine. I may be needing to use the browser to. Let's see, 153, but we don't want 53.1. This time we want the regular 5900 port. Has it been in? Have I been in there as just regular 153? Nope. Okay. It didn't. It was not deleting right. Okay. There. Oh. I didn't open up that port on that machine itself on the firewall, so it didn't let me do it. Guess that's it. Let's see. Yeah, it was closed. Okay. Back over there. I see. There's a button. I accidentally turned the volume back on. I unmuted the audio on the laptop. I could hear myself talking. I do. There's a button. When I use my long stick to go up under the monitor, it's hitting the mute and unmute button on my wireless keyboard that I have hooked up to the laptop. Okay, so what was I said I wanted to do? Firewall, yeah. There we go, firewall. So I'll have to open up, and this is for the machine, not for the my router, so it still won't be open to the internet. Although that's something I really don't like leaving that way. Now the default is Fedora server, which is what it should be. Okay, services. Okay. Protocols, port. Modules, destination, ports. Okay, let's see. Maybe there's a long list. I can probably look through the list and find VNC. VNC server. There we go. Okay. Now, how am I going to get it to stay in there and allow it? Runtime. Oh, okay. Change it from runtime to permanent. There we go. Now it's there. Okay. 5900. Actually, well, that's okay, I guess. it's 5900 to 5903. I usually just do the one port. Let's edit it. No, let's leave it alone. Like I said, that's close the firewall now. It should be all right. That's I can always just change it back, and you know, if I decide that I don't really want that way. But right now, while I'm setting this up and making videos, I want it on. Okay. Now, hopefully that got me in. Oh, it did not. Why not? Fedora 153. VNC. Let's close this app and open it back up and make sure it doesn't have something to do with. I don't know, maybe I should just do plain old 5900. I don't think you need UDP, do you? Or do you need them both? I think you might need them both. 5900 firewall. All right, maybe I'm going to have to. I did put it on. Oh, let's go see. Oh, did I? I might have did that wrong. Let's see. Yeah, I think I did. I went into ports and did that. Protocols. Well, it's not even there anymore. Oh, we're in runtime now, but we're back into runtime. Okay. There's a spot. You know, just leave it right where it is and then go to, let's see, if we go to permanent, what do we get? Let's see if we get it. No. Okay, so what normally happens, if you're in runtime and you change something, it'll only work while until you reboot. And when you reboot, you don't have it anymore. But if you, what it used to say is switch. I don't know what they said, but it's basically copy it from runtime to permanent. Now, let's see. We got, where's my VNC server? Okay, it's not there. Well, for right now, I'm going to click on it there. Okay, now let's go to runtime. It's different in this one. It's not the same way as in. I didn't know that the firewall looks to me like the same firewall. It is the same firewall, but the graphic user interface is different, the way it works. Now I've got a checkbox in VNC server in both of them. So you don't usually do it that way. That actually makes more sense like this than whatever you click in runtime's in runtime, whatever you click in permanent is permanent. The other way you had to like, I'd have to be in, well, maybe I can, well, there's no point, but anyway, it's different in Mate. It's actually a little confusing, and I always had trouble remembering how to do it. Okay. Hopefully this will get it. Yeah. So, always open up your firewall if you want to use remote desktop. Okay, and I think F11 will get me full screen. There we go. Now we can show what we want to show here. Okay, so what are all these things? What is that? Desktop sharing. Okay, is open, being shared with, and there's the Dragora updater notification that I was showing. You can actually manually click on that and manually check for updates, but I've got it set to automatic. So now in root over here, the far right You can do suspend, shut down, log out, and you used to be able to go here and do well, you can do log out, but that would probably break my remote desktop, so I won't do that. I guess it was just log out and then change to another user. You can't. I don't think you've ever been able to switch users in Fedora, like, you know, just switch users. And again, that would break my remote desktop. So, and everything I've looked through, I'll show that part. Users and groups. So I went and went to Dawn, and then I went into properties, and I didn't change any of that. I disabled, it wasn't checked for enable account expiration. No, I think it was a password. Oh, look at there, password expiration is there. Okay, I don't want that. That was just like that. It was password expiration. Maybe you have to hit OK in that window. I don't know. We'll do that this time. And then the groups that you're in, which I looked through all those and I didn't see any. Look again. I didn't see any that looked like to do with log on or anything anything that could help me be able to use that log on screen. So I guess I'm going to have to start doing some Googling. But I want to make sure that sticks. I already did that. Maybe I only did it. I guess I did it as root. I don't know what I did now. But you see, you're not even seeing root. Oh, well, let's see. There's a place where you can, in the Mate desktop anyway, there's a place where you can show, I guess in the preferences, yeah, hide system users and groups. So if you do that, now you can see the root user too. You can see everything. There's root right there at the top. Properties of root, let's see. Same. Okay. Yeah, now see his root's password would expire, and I don't want that, so I'll change it when I want to. I don't want it to just all of a sudden out of the blue say you can't log in until you change your password. I hate that. It really hangs you up. So there we go. Now, and I was looking, for any apps to do with login or sure did overtype. I'm doing remote desktop, so log on. Let's see. And I am logged in the graphic user interface as root. That's all I've been able to do so far. It's doing some double letters on me there. Whole kit is, I was thinking that, no, it's not. What is it? I don't think there's anything for that. Settings editor. Session and startup is where I went. Let's go in there one more time because maybe I missed something in there. Display chooser at log on. That is what I checked. Prompt on log out. Splash. I don't want to splash because I don't like the rat. I like looking at a picture of a rat. And let's see what's in the application auto start. I took out the Blueberry and Bluetooth. Rest I left. Live install setup. I wonder, no. I kind of think that shouldn't be there anymore, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. Power manager, Pulse audio. Screensaver, I took that out. SC Linux, I want all that. But I did not see anything that looked like it would help me get that graphic user logon showing up. Make sure there wasn't any screensavers. There is two checkboxes for screensavers in there. One was checked and the other wasn't. So I unchecked it. The only thing I can imagine, I don't see how in the world that would help, is to automatically save session on logout. It won't hurt to try it once. I really do not believe that'll help, but what the heck. Close that. Wouldn't that be funny if that fixed it? Okay, so, but before, I'm not going to just log out and see if that works, because I really don't think it would. Let's do a little research now. Go over to my main machine and do a little. Okay, Fedora 29 server. Log into XFCE Desktop. Switch desktop environments. There's the first thing that's been coming up. Well, let's save this as exactly what I just searched. This has actually been saved somewhere else. I actually don't. Yeah, we'll open up those ones that are about XFCE, and then do that. Okay. Well, let's look at this one just because okay, so they're telling you how to switch desktop environments, which that's if you got more than one desktop installed, like Mate and XFCE. So you're saying do DNF. This is one of the group commands I'm always talking about. DNF group list be hidden, and then you see all these things. XFCE, all the different desktops. And then they're saying, well, for example, install KDE, and that's the old way. I don't know if that still works or not. This is probably a pretty much older document, but using the ampersand instead of putting it in parentheses, it would just be KDE space desktop in parentheses. It does say DNF and not yum, so I don't know. Maybe you can do it either way still. I know I had trouble with one of the ways, and I thought it was that way right there. But anyway, well, did you notice there's dashes in there? So maybe, when I was looking at my script yesterday and I was saying, oh, which one should I be doing? Well, maybe if you're going to use the dashes, you use the ampersand, and if you're going to use the, quotation KDE space desktop, and it has to be spelled right too. It has to be the caps have to be caps, I think. Pretty sure. Like K would be, capital K, and D would be capital D. And then here's switching the desktop. Well, before you start, install the desired desktop environment. Then you get your logon screen. See, we're not getting that logon screen. Maybe we're still missing an app. Oh, I forgot about, I ran my installer a little different than what they were showing in the instructions. The syntax was different. No. Could be that makes me miss a few apps like this. It's not PoleKit, it's something else that this is called right here. Can't remember. Anyway, PoleKit D is always in my head about that right now for some reason. So on the screen, you would actually, I've never tried doing it. Oh, right there, you click the little gears, and then if you have more than one desktop, and then alternatively, I don't remember ever seeing this before. Alternatively, install the Switch Desk and Switch Desk GUI packages. Okay. Run the desktop switching tool. Okay. Select the default desktop list. Now this looks to me like it would let you do it from the GUI and just switch. But I'm not wanting to switch desktops. I just want to log into the one that I want. And then it says switching desktop environments in the CLI command line interface. I know what that stands for. Okay, before you start, install your desktops, and then DNF install switch desk, and then you would just in the command line, like I am right now. If you wanted to, well, I guess you could do it in the open up a command line if you're in the GUI, I think, and do it, and then switch desk KDE. More information. So that's pretty handy information. I just put that in there. Okay, but that's general Fedora information. Okay, so there's some. Oh, this is the Fedora project.org. This is this Fedora XFCE spins page. Download it now. Okay, and XFCE, getting XFCE. This is still to do with Fedora. It's in the Fedora project.org wiki. So, but this is, oh, okay, installing for versions prior to 22. Okay. Get it from the live CD, get it from the DVD. So yeah, I'm install XFCE. So that's at XFCE. That's the old way. But it could give me a clue. Oh, there's the DNF install. That says DNF install XFCE environment. Let me just try running that. That other one that I saw was even different. Let's see if we can find that page in my history. Right here. This is for Fedora 28, but I don't think it's changed. But yeah, see, DNF group install XFCE desktop. Well, that's the same way as I did it. Right, exactly. XFCE space desktop. This is what I was talking about. And then I ran this command, and then I did startx. And I can do startx as root, but not as Don. And that's what I don't understand. So maybe I'll try this just to see what it does. I'm getting to I'm getting low on ideas now. After installing it, you can use it unless you really, surely, I mean, XFCE surely doesn't depend on you having one of these other desktops first. Tips and tricks. It's just telling you some things you could do. Disable always on top in XFCE. Make the panel stay below other windows. Those are just some. Okay, so I mean, this is the first things I get when I look it up, so. There's one thing I forgot to say in my search. Fedora 29 server login to XFCE desktop as regular user. Let's see what happens when we do that. Before I go run that little script, that thing that could take a while. Switching multi-user. Here we go. That's Ubuntu. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is the Fedora. Running Fedora 23. More than one user account. How can you do multi-users with XFCE? Okay. Depends on the display manager. Well, now that was one of my errors were. They were X11. The fallback, yeah, back into 2014 or light DM. Yeah, okay. You can be double checking by running. Yeah, it kept trying to do X11. Light DM, that's one of the ones I couldn't remember the name of. create a file. Surely we're not going to have to do that, are we? This is everybody's different answers, it sounds like. Control Alt F6, Display Manager, Control Alt F7. I never thought about using Control Alt anything in the terminal, but I did know you could do that with sometimes with certain things. We may have to try that. Looks like you could, they're saying you could hit Control Alt F2 and Alt Control F6 after login. New user, start X. Oh, I'm skimming it because it looks like sometimes you get into these long written out things that are just people. Some people will just, shoot from the hip off the top of their head, and they don't really know. They're just, sometimes they really don't know. Sometimes people get on these forums. That's why I don't like to read try to get help from forums unless I can't find it anywhere else. If I can find it in the, like say Fedora, the Fedora documentation and all that, that's where I'll go. So it doesn't say, where does my page I just copied my command from? Right here. It doesn't say anything about any of that in here. So I'm going to start with that. And since I've got a remote desktop into this machine, I will open up a terminal, and I'm already in as root, so I won't even have to SU. And I'm just going to paste that command in there. That's one nice thing about VNC desktop, remote desktop, allowing you to copy and paste between different machines. So instead of doing it at that terminal that you use, the cockpit terminal, it's a little funky, and well, you can't make it big where you can read everything really well and stuff like that. So here we go. So let's see. It should just, what I expect it to do is go through everything and say, no, everything's already installed, doesn't need to install anything else. But what if this command actually installs a few things that the other one didn't? I think there's just different ways to do it. I think there's just different commands. I think that, as operating systems for Linux evolves over the years, for whatever reason, there's some no matches. For whatever reason, nothing to do. For whatever reason, commands, there can be more than one command to do the same thing. Or lots of times it's something really similar but not exactly the same. So, yeah, that's all okay. It looks like maybe I don't know if it updated anything or not. I don't know. It would have went ahead and updated if there's anything to do. No match for group package X11. Oh. Power utils, LS. Oh, okay. No match for these. Nothing to do, complete. But there were a few things missing there. Okay. Now, my next best idea here is to run the one out of here. That's basically the same thing that I have in my script, I believe. Pretty sure. Let's look at my script too to make sure. Oh, that's wrong. I don't have that open. Let's make sure, because I think I already confirmed that they were the same, but I've already forgotten. Now I'm not 100% sure. So what I'll do is do a search. DNFY group install. Let's see. Oh yeah, they do group install as 2 words, and I did it as 1 word, but I had no errors with that. Okay, well let's see. I've already ran it with from that command exactly like that out of my script. So let's run it. Might need it. Let's go back over here, and we'll run the one off of that that other page. This is the one this is the page I used to get it working in Fedora 23. So let's see if we get anything any different. I'd really hate to it would take a good long time to install Mate Desktop and then see if that makes it work. So I think I'll do a little more research. Same exact thing, nothing to do, a little bit less output, but same thing. It could be that these things that are not matched are missing in the Fedora 29 repos, and we ain't going to get it to work. Maybe they just really don't think you need you don't need no freaking desktop in the server. We don't want you to do that. So let's see. Now here's the one I ran before to do it yesterday. Let's see what happens. I think we're going to get the same thing. DNFY group install. The only difference is it's 1 word group install instead of 2 words. And it didn't squawk at me yesterday. So there we go. Nothing to do. Alright, so I'm going to save this so that I will know. Yeah, that does make some confusion, doesn't it? When there's 3 different ways to write out the same commands, gets a little confusing. And I want writer. I think it's raining. Oh no, that's my laptop fan coming on. Yeah, it's getting tired. I think I'll reboot it right now before it gets overworked. It's been running a good while now. Did I get writer opened up? Somewhere. I think it's just not done opening up. There we go. Yep. Now. Yes. Yes. Okay. Fedora 29 server commands to group install XFCE desktop. Well, it's kind of weird, but that's okay. Now then, where's the save? This one looks different. Save. This is going to be ended up saved in the yeah, I do have a documents folder at least. I'll end up having to copy those over to my regular machine at some point. Let me log into my laptop. Oh. So that I can keep on monitoring to make sure I'm okay. So, got that. I just wanted to make sure I had that information. And yeah, that's my script. So there's no need to change anything in my script right now. And oh, get my laptop back into where I can actually see what's going on with my stream. Yeah, this is all it gives you. And of course, like I said, this is for Fedora 28, but I can run these commands again. I won't need to run startx, but I wonder if that would mess things up though. I think it would probably be all right to run that again. So echo, I think that's creating a file is what that was doing. I'll run it and then see. Yeah, there's no out. That's right. There was no output before. So I think the only problem I actually have is permission problems of being able to do it as Dawn. Well, the other thing I can try is using these keys here. Let me get my laptop back on my live dashboard so I can see what I got going on there. So it's a bit slow, so usually I don't want to sit there and wait. I'll just go off, and then I do forget to get back to it, so this time I'll wait. Okay, yeah, now I know for sure I'm still online. Okay. This is Arch Linux, though. That is not, I thought that was about Fedora. It says Fedora. They're talking about Arch Linux. That's a whole nother user bin. I would not trust that as to being of any use in Fedora if they're talking about Arch Linux. Bin bash, user bin, DM tool, switch to greeter. Oh, let's see. They're going into a discussion about you might be able to get in there without the password and stuff. Okay. Control-Alt F1 to switch to TTY1 and open a session with the other user. Traditionally, graphical sessions run on TTY6 and above, and then on many distributions, Control-Alt F6 will be the second session after the Display Manager. Control-Alt F7 the third, and so on. On Fedora, none of the TTYs are populated with graphical or console sessions until the TTY is accessed, either by a user via Control-Alt-Fn or by action or command like Display Manager. Oh, I wonder if that's the real command, Display Manager. So Display Manager will be Control-Alt-F1. The second session at Control-Alt-F2, and so on. So, use the keyboard to switch between TTYs and the Display Manager to start new sessions. It shouldn't be more complicated than that. Comments. On Control-Alt-F2 and 6, log in with new user startx xinit, unable to connect to X server, connection refused, init server error. YR proposal is good, but unfortunately, it is a bit more complicated. Thanks. You didn't need to make it more complicated. I think they're arguing back and forth. Instead of running startx like I did not suggest, try using Display Manager. Okay. I think I'll try what they say there. But what it means is I've got to reboot the machine. So let's close that terminal. I think what I'll do is reboot it, and we're in Remote Desktop, and we'll reboot it, and then I'll probably have to log in with Cockpit, because I don't think I can log in. I don't think the Remote Desktop will be running until, well, it might, but I don't think it'll be running. We'll try it until the graphic user interface is up and running. It's the way it is with my other machine. Except for there was one I had that it might have been a Bain machine. You could log in on the Remote Desktop with the VNC, and then you'd see the login screen, and you could just log into the machine. And I actually liked that. You know what though? That might have been in a Windows machine. It was. I don't know if I ever saw that in a Linux machine. So let me wait for it to get rebooted. And I won't know if it's rebooted unless I do that. Yeah. So if that answers me, then I'll try it with the Remote Desktop. If the Cockpit port answers me, I know it'll answer whether you're logged. Whether you have a remote. Once the machine's up and running, it'll answer. I'm getting hungry again. I get so comfortable with myself sitting here talking and working, I forget things like move your head away from the mic when you cough and all that stuff. So sorry. Even if I had a key, I've said that, yeah, there we go. Like I've said before, even if I had a quick key, I'd probably forget to use it. So now let's see if we could connect to the Remote Desktop without a graphic user interface. Yeah, without the graphic user interface, you can't do that. Okay, but what it can do, go ahead and log in as root. And try that. I should be able to get in the terminal and try that. I've already forgot what it was. I'll leave that where it is for now. Yeah, Control F1, F6, F7, F2, all these different things. Control. It's just Control F1, right? Yeah, Control. There's a bunch of different combinations. Control Alt F1. Okay, Control Alt F6. Oh. Okay, well, Control Alt. Doesn't do anything from there. Well, what was I click? Got to be in the terminal. I might have to be on the machine. Oh, that's wild. I just never realized what it. So this is not affecting that machine. It's affecting my machine that I'm on. I better watch out. I'm not hitting any more Control Alt keys. I don't know what I'd be doing. All right, but that's really cool. I mean, it's only doing it to me. It's not doing it in the video. Well, anyway, it makes it full screen, and I don't see the browser. I don't see anything. If I can hit Control Alt F2, and then if I hit Control Alt F1, it goes back to normal. So let's get on the camera. Actually, I think I'll. Well, it won't. Yeah, don't need so many extra pages. Leave page. Get out of there. Get on the camera and actually get on the machine. Get on the camera so I can show it. And get on the machine itself. Control Alt F1, F2, trying to remember these things now. Oh, the screen looks funky. Control Alt F2. Yeah, TTY2. Control Alt TTY1. It doesn't do anything. There is no F7. There's a TTY F5, F4, F3, F2, F1. Now, what's the normal default one? I have no idea. Probably F1, TTY1. They were saying in some of that stuff something about it being F6. So I really don't know. I remember having to know something about that TTY1 and so on to do with grub is what I thought. But what's really weird is the terminal is got a big space. You can see that in the camera, all that space to the left when the text is usually always all the way to the left side of your screen. Something happened from me punching those keys. So, well, Mr. Know-It-All, that didn't do a darn thing to get you into the graphic user interface. Mr. Know-It-All on the forums there. It's funny because some of the people that say, well, if you just follow my instructions, it'll work, and then they don't know what the heck they're talking about in the first place. I guess that's why sometimes people argue back and forth, but a lot of times the people that argue are the ones that sit there and say, well, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm new. Please help me, and then they argue. But so I usually take the side of the one that sounds like they know what they're doing, but sometimes they don't know what they're doing. Okay, now I want that page back up. I want my probably have to log back in. Now I can do, well, I could have done it from the machine, but are we doing desktop? I think so. Oh, now my stream's bad. Great. That's probably another reason my stream could be going bad more often than I realize. Yeah, I'm on desktop. Note to self, you may have to upload your backup video. Something going wrong with the internet, I guess. Yeah, what'll probably be happening, well, it could be only, like it's caching and a little behind to a watcher, but what it could be is end up dropping frames and stuff, or it could break. I mean, it could just quit working altogether. Okay, now then. Wait, before I hit start, actually, let's go back to those instructions one more time after I insulted the helpers. But yeah, I tried everything. There is no, well, they were just saying for example, but yeah, there's no on TTY6 and above. Well, TTY6 doesn't, it's not working. Well, perhaps that would work if mine was set up right. I'll give them that for sure. Maybe I still don't have everything I need. I'm really trying to figure this one out. It's getting aggravating. Okay, so that does not help, but I did have it. Wait, did I have that in my bookmarks? Because it might be something. Yeah, I had it in my bookmarks. I don't see anything about if you just installed a new, just saying, after installing XFCE, and assuming that you already had Genome or something or KDE, you may have to reboot. I'm starting to think that it may fix it right up if I just install Mate, and then maybe this is how I fixed it before. Maybe that's why it's in my head. There is that other thing that I was looking at that These are just like more tips and tricks for the XFCE desktop, is from what I gather there. All right, oh, there's more pages. Okay. Actually, no, it may all be on one page. Yeah, it is. It's all on that one page. Okay, so auto start XFCE without login manager. We're on the Ubuntu with those. Well, let's see. This is Fedora Forms. That's Fedora 11. Auto login and start X without a display manager. Don't want to do that. I don't want Fedora 11. Let's see. We'll look at the XFCE. Maybe there's something specific to XFCE. Let's go ahead and save that into the folder for XFCE. Why did that come up? That's pretty far back in 2011. These wiki pages can be so full of information, it's really hard to find what you want. Well, the way they, I guess a lot of it's got to do with the way they word things, you know, when you're doing the page search like I was just doing. That looks like a good page, but I don't think it's going to have what I want to know. Oh, shell running GUI application is another non-root user. Let's see. Unix and Linux. GUI programs fail. Yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on here. SU versus SU with a minus. Could be a user permission. Some of the errors I saw. Yeah, the laptop's back to working hard again. I guess it's gonna it's just warmed up. But that's some really detailed stuff that I don't think it should be apt get installed. That's not about Fedora. You know, sometimes you can find something that's oh, that was just a Linux. I just remembered that could have had both Fedora and it was a general Linux thing. Unix and Linux. It's not a Fedora host or anything. that's still talking a specific program, which the logon screen is a program. The phrase login, okay, it is, yeah. Yeah, the only place the phrase login is, or, you know, like, anyway, just at the beginning with the question. I'm going to put this in there just in case it's useful, but it looks like just a bunch of interesting, but on not exactly what I'm looking for. Never heard of that one. Sudo app get installed sucks. Never heard of the app called sucks. S-U-X. Sucks command. But that's what I saw a minute ago. Oh, it's no longer in Bang or Ubuntu. How funny. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's going to help me. Okay, I don't want to run it as root. That's Ubuntu. And that's why I skipped it, because it's Ubuntu. Sometimes it helps you, even though it's, you know, because it is still Linux. Even the Ubuntu's built onto Bang, and they do work a lot different. Looks like maybe they never got an answer. Let's see. Let's go on down. Go on down to the bottom. See if there's like thanks and this work. Control Alt F1. Oh, I've already seen that's in Ubuntu, and they don't have the root account enabled. I don't have that problem. They had a broken profile file. Okay. Well, I'll try that one there because that's Fedora. But I'm thinking I'm going to... Some people say log in, some say log on, sometimes it's 2 words, sometimes it's 1 word, so can't read all that. Oh, you can reload the page and then you can read it. That happened to me the other day. They're in the Christmas spirit. They want you to give them money. I don't know how. I guess that's the only way they make money, because they don't have advertisements on here. But that's a little pushy. It's probably more about Fedora than XFCE. Let's see. Yeah, it is. So let's put it in the something to do. Yeah, right there. Fedora Linux project. That's pretty much what that's a basic stuff about Fedora. It could be that, you know, like I said, Fedora uses LightDM or something instead of X11, and it could be because it's looking for X11 and it's not actually there. So I've got my remote terminal going. So let's just I'm even going to close my search window to kind of give a little less hard work on the machine. Okay, I'm going to open up my script again. Now, where is, I think I want mate. There it is. DNF group install mate desktop. I think I'm going to uncomment it. I'm not going to run this script right now, but oh, that's the mate applications. Okay. I should have it. Maybe I didn't run it because I installed it with the mate desktop already on it. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Okay, we're back at the top. There we go. DNF group install mate desktop. I want to. This one has, you know, duplicate entries. It has it as all caps. I wonder if that's going to mess something up. Maybe not. Usually you can just use it the way it's spelled after running these group list commands. So this may not be as, I thought this would be the best way to get the commands I need. We'll see. We will see. All right, now then. Mate applications, I would want that. Okay, and then mate desktop. That's still spelled with M-A-T-E, yelling out mate. Mate. Mate applications. Xmon mate. Okay, so what I want is mate desktop. First I'll do that, and then I got something in my window that I didn't want. Mate applications. Those really help mate work better. And that'll be, what did I just do? Hit copy instead of paste? I think I did. Well, I didn't lose my DNF Y group install mate desktop. This will not be super quick. It will probably take longer than it did last night to install XFCE. But heck, if this works, what I'm hoping is that this will install all the things that are missing. I think maybe there's something missing. And once I log into Mate Desktop, reboot, and then then my boot manager will be there, my boot screen, and I can just switch to XFCE Desktop. That's what I'm thinking, because I think maybe there's some things missing. Maybe this won't take as long as I think it's. Well, it's, yeah, 20 of 194. Actually, you know, this may take less little apps to install than, it was 400 and 500 something yet last night for XFCE. Right now it's going really fast. So maybe I was actually thinking I might stop the video and start another one when it's done, you know, because I'm getting really hungry. And I may still want to do that. But yeah, I'll let this run. And then the next thing I will do is DNF Y install mate applications. And I think that's the only thing that I actually need to have. These are just rehashes of the same thing from me running different list commands, group list commands. Yeah, there's only those two main things that are in the mate groups. So yeah, oops, just will not do me what I want it to do. Okay, so leave that open because I may need it. Well, it's surely downloading it nice and fast. Well, the install might not go as quick as the download. I don't know. I'd like to know just as quick as possible, but there we go. It's checking what's going to happen now. And getting ready to start our install. I can't believe that Mate Desktop is actually less apps than XFCE. I think because it doesn't. XFCE seems to have a lot of its own stuff to make it work, and Mate just kind of depends on. Well, it depends on a lot of genome stuff that I guess already gets installed with Fedora anyway. Well, except for the Fedora server. Don't know about all that. I mean, like I said, it's not meant to be, have the graphic user interface. But I do know the reason I'm doing this is because when I did it on Fedora 23, I believe I started with Mate Desktop and then added XFCE, and but the commands that I started out with tonight, I think I did them both. Still didn't get any, graphic user log on or anything. And then after I ran those commands, that fixed it. Those ones I did at the beginning of the evening here. And it is trying, but, well, and I mean, it works. It works as root. That's what's weird. It works as root, but not as regular user. So I don't know. Maybe with all these Mate, the Mate Desktop and the Mate applications, there will maybe be something in there that I can just click on something, select something, and it'll turn it on the way it needs to be turned on. It'll edit some config file somewhere. Well, two things. Maybe something will get installed that helps it to work right now, or maybe it will automatically, the GUI in Mate will automatically edit a config file to make it work for me. Something that's hidden in the back end that I don't normally see, you have to mess with. It's just back and forth. Sometimes that's easier and sometimes that's actually harder than finding the right commands and running them. But I looked, I didn't see anything that was close, and the only thing I saw was changing the TTY, and that was interesting, but it was of no use to me with my problem. If I could remember that, it might be good later. What I gathered of that is if my XFCE graphic user interface was working properly for the regular user, it's working fine for root, then that would have got me back and forth, between different users, but it's not working properly for some reason. So, okay, now it's installing, and we're at 78 of 194. So now this could end up taking a while. It's still not near. I think it was 450 apps or something that it installed, and apps and dependencies, with XFCE, which did take a good long time. But this may be taking long enough that I may take my break, and I'm really getting hungry, so I'll take me a break, let this run. Me or nobody else wants to watch this terminal install stuff, so I'll eat, which will be my supper now, and maybe I'm gonna say maybe I'll come back after supper, but if I get really tired, there's no point in just wearing myself out, although it's not that late. I mean, I got up at like 2:30 in the afternoon, so by the time I'm done, it'll probably be, it's almost 1 now, it'll probably be about 2:30 by the time I eat and everything else. If I still feel some energy, maybe I'll go right back to it. If not, I guess I will wait till my tomorrow to go back at it. So here we go, we're still at it. It's always one thing leads to another. Sometimes things go smoothly, sometimes they don't. I don't know. Yeah, this is my only idea. I've done some research, and I'm trying to go back on my memory, which is pretty foggy, but yeah, that one there taking a while to install. I don't know if it's bigger or what. I don't know what size it is, but MathJax. Don't know what MathJax is. Actually, there seems to be a bunch of different parts of it there. So I'll just leave this like it is, and don't want to close my browser. I'll have to leave that open. I'll go ahead and leave my little file open, and I mean, I could just well, let's close it. No use in giving the machine more to do than it needs. Then you want it to have to do. And I actually don't have to keep my browser open. I mean, if I close the browser or disconnect, it won't stop what's going on over there, you know. But I probably will leave it so that I can just check in on it while I'm eating and stuff. I'll probably watch videos while I'm eating. But I don't have to have, you know, OBS running either. So I'm trying to think of what do I need to do. Yeah, it should take long enough for me to just go ahead and go eat. So I'm going to go ahead and go. And interesting. It's always just when I think I've kind of got things figured out, I run into more. And here's the thing, though: Fedora's always morphing and changing, always trying to make things newer and better. And so they may have changed things. It may be, you know, 29 may be altogether different in how. Hopefully, they didn't drop things that's making it where I can't even do what I'm trying to do. You know, but they're always changing stuff around, up and down, backwards and forwards. So we'll just see if that works. I bet you if I can get into Mate Desktop as my regular user, then I'm just betting I can reboot and then just select XFCE and it'll work. That's what I'm hoping. If not, then I don't know. I have to go from there. All right, so I'll be back after a while or tomorrow. Bye-bye.